Good morning, guys. Today we'll be looking at improper fractions to mixed numerals and vice versa. I think most of these you probably already know quite a lot about, but we thought, why not go over it just in case. First of all, what is an improper fraction? What is a fraction? If we look at shape, let's do it up into, let's say, quarters. Okay, that's a rectangle split up into basically even quarters, I guess. So a fraction is a part of a whole shape. So this whole thing would be called one whole. So the fraction shaded would be 1 out of 4. If I shaded some more, I would now have 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, 4 out of 4, which would be one whole. Okay, so an improper fraction is where you might have something like this, 6 over 4, which is a top-heavy fraction. Okay, a top-heavy fraction. Hopefully you remember that the top part is called the numerator. The bottom part is called the denominator. Okay, so if I talk about those sort of things. So if I looked at a fraction like 6 over 4, what that actually means is that I have, apologies a little bit slow there, one whole shape that's been shaded. That's 4 quarters. I'm going to have another shape now, again split up into quarters. I've got 4, 5, 6. So what we've actually got there is 6 quarters, or 1 and 2 quarters. So there's two different types of fractions here that I've written. The first, obviously, we've just spoken about, which is called an improper fraction, or a top-heavy fraction. But the second version, which means exactly the same thing, is what we call a mixed numeral, or mixed number, because it contains a whole number as well as a fraction number. Okay, so what we'll be focusing on today is starting with these improper fractions, top heavy, and converting them to these mixed numerals. Okay, so that's today's aim, and vice versa. Okay, so let's have a look at an example of, let's say, 14 over, let's say, 5. Okay, so first of all, we know that this is an improper fraction. We want to write this as a mixed numeral, or a mixed number. Now, the long way used to be this, where we'd sit there and go, okay, I'm going to get a shape, we're going to cut him into fifths. Get another shape, also cut him into fifths. Get another shape, I'm going to cut him into fifths. And so on. And then what we do, we get this and go, okay, we've got 1 fifth, 2 fifths, 3 fifths, 4 fifths, 5 fifths, 6 fifths, 7 fifths, 8 fifths, 9 fifths, 10 fifths, 11 fifths, 12 fifths, 13 fifths, and 14 fifths. And say, okay, so we've got 14 fifths, which is going to equal 1 whole, 2 wholes, and 4 fifths. And go, alrighty. I've now converted it to a mixed number. Now, that's fine, but what if I had something like 299 over 5? You're going to be there a pretty long time, aren't you? So there's a quick way of doing these things. Hopefully what you'll realize is that when I'm talking about fifths, 1 whole is 5 over 5. Okay, so 1 whole is 5 over 5. 2 wholes would be 10 over 5. 3 wholes, for example, would be 15 over 5. So basically, in order to turn this mixed number, or this improper fraction to a mixed number, if I actually just go through the division process and say, well, okay, if I want to see how many wholes there are, so how many times does 5 go into 14? Well, 5 goes into 14 twice, because 2 5s are 10. And how many are left over? There are 4 left over, so 4 fifths. And that can be a much quicker way of doing things. Okay, a much quicker way of doing things. Let's have a look at another question. Let's say we got 16 over 3. Let's do it the quick way this time. How many 3's go into 16? Well, 3 5's are 15. So it's 5 wholes, because 5 3's are 15, which makes 15 over 3. So 5 3's are 15, and we have 1 left over. So we've got 5 and 1/3. How good is that? Nice and quick, isn't it? If I do 28 over, let's say, 6. How many 6's go into 28? Well, 6 4's are 24, 4 left over, 4 and 4/6. You might then go ahead and say 4 and 2/3. Okay, so you can see just by using the division process, it's fairly easy to convert your improper fractions to mixed numbers. But what happens if we want to go the other way, the vice versa part? Let's say we've got 3.5, and we want to turn this now to an improper fraction, or top-heavy fraction. So now we're going the other way about it. So what this means, if I do the long way again, we have 3 wholes. Now, we know it's split up into halves, because it's over 2. So that's 1 whole, that's 2 wholes, and that's 3 wholes. And then I've got 1 out of 2 left over. So again, what I've done there is 1 whole, 2 wholes, 3 wholes, and 1 left over. So I've got 3 lots of 2 over 2, because say that's 2 over 2, 1 whole, 2 over 2, 1 whole, 2 over 2 is 1 whole, and 1 over 2. So I've actually got 3 lots of 2 over 2's, which gives me 6 over 2's, and then I've got that 1 over 2 left over, which gives me 7 over 2. Okay, and a quick way, which you may have learnt this before, is if I simply times it by the bottom, because that tells me how many halves I've got. 3 times 2 is 6, and then I add whatever's on the top left over, which makes 7 over 2. How nice is that? What if I do something like this? Let's say we've got 4 and 2/3. Well, if I do it the quick way, which we just learned, 4 wholes is 4 lots of 3 over 3, which is 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14/3. And again, you can check your answer by saying how many 3's go into 14. Well, 3 4's are 12 with 2 left over. Got your answer. What if I did this one, which said 10 and 1/8? Well, again, let's do the same process. 10 times 8 is 80. Plus 1 is 81 over 8. How goes that? Okay, so let's try just a couple of questions. I want you to do, let's say, 10 over 6 as an improper fraction. Convert 28 over 5 as an improper fraction. Then we can do 2 and 1/8 as an improper fraction, and 12 and 4/5 as an improper fraction. So pause it, have a crack at it, and then we'll go through the answers. Okay, hopefully you've done these. So we've got 10 over 6. Well, there's 6 goes into 10, and we have 4 left over, which you might have gone ahead and said 2/3. 1 and 2/3. The next one, how many 5's are in 28? Well, 5 5's are 25 with 3 5's left over. Nice and easy. Okay. Put an improper fraction. 2 times 8 is 16. Add the 1, makes 17/8. And 12 times 5 is 60. 60 plus 4 is 64 over 5. Okay, hope this was useful. Have a crack. Once you do a few of them, guys, it does get easier. So just practice makes perfecto. Hope you're having a good week.